Hello, everyone. This is episode 5 of Here Comes the Pitch, a podcast about pitching story ideas. I'm your host, Derk Harron, and in today's episode, I will be pitching a sci-fi comedy called Heights Hotel to my guest, Nick Harron, the co-owner of 1UP Games in Mesa, Arizona. I would compare this story to the movies Mom and Dad Save the World and The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy. Well, without further ado, here comes the pitch. That's a fine cup of joe.
I've had like 5 cups today and now drinking a Red Bull. Fuck it, dude. I get like one day off this week. I've had some crazy conversations yesterday, so it's kind of cool that we're doing this. This is like every day of my life is hearing people's ideas and like innermost thoughts.
Well, yeah, like since you own a vintage video game store, I'm sure there's people that always come in and talk about this different games and what kind of game I would create or
All the time. Nostalgia.
Yeah. Like
to a point where sometimes like I want to blow my brains out.
Well, and I'm assuming like people always have their opinion on how the game should have played out or like what the ending should have been.
All the time.
Or like, there would be a great sequel to this game if
I wish I had GoPro.
I made it,
dude. I wish I had GoPro cameras like throughout the store, because I mean we've found like the weirdest stories, man, and we just like people like I told you about that thing. Like I found someone shit in my store and hid it underneath the chairs.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? Like that doesn't happen, man.
Well,
but I guess it does because
it did happen. So.
But no, and it doesn't. It's movies, it's TV shows, everything. People come in and they talk about it, and we get a lot of like everything has been The Last Jedi the last month.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, so many dozens of conversations about The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and I could see how people would just this is what I would have done with the story
every day.
So.
And when you have a partner, Tim, who owns half the store with me, who fucking hated that movie, and I'm like, dude, oh god, don't talk about Last Jedi, because now Tim's gonna go on for about 45 minutes saying what I've already heard like 24 times, but he's got to get his point out.
Right.
It's like you're constantly just reliving the same conversation. It gets to a point where you're like, that's a part of the job that I don't like. But besides that,
it's interesting to see like people so passionate about like a certain franchise that you were telling me this one story about like a guy that like was just crying uncontrollably to the point where didn't he like fall to the ground or something?
No, we've had guys like Mandel who's came in, who's done like our Let's Play show. He was like our first guest. He like, man, he's crazy. I've got guys they'll just lay on the ground and have a conversation because they feel so at home there. Right. To the point where I'm like, this is a fucking business, dude. Get up. Like, if somebody's walking by and they see this like 230-pound guy just laying on the floor, like I'm not gonna sell anything. Well,
yeah, they probably want to just leave.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. But no, for the most part, it's pretty chill. Yeah.
But you mentioned that you have like a YouTube channel called
Nick Timdo Plays is our Let's Play show, but you can find us on Get a Life Bros with an S. There's another douche that did I guess another douche, that means we're douches, which we are. He's got Get a Life Bro, but I think he's got like 4 videos, and then realized that kicked his ass. No, man, it's fun, man. It's just Tim and I play video games every single week in the store. We post a video every Tuesday. Not every Tuesday, because we have full-time jobs.
Right.
It's like YouTube is a thing we do, not to make money, not even to get views. It's just going to be cool one day when we're 65 and we can look back in our 30s and watch these videos.
Well, I think that one thing, too, about YouTube channels is, like, once you develop enough content, I think that people flock to it, people binge it. Like, I think that's a big thing right now, is that people will take the time. If they like something so much, then they'll watch it all, just to be a
that bitch.
completionist.
Yeah. Oh,
and so that's what, like, I commend you for, like, always releasing a video, well, most of the time, weekly.
Normally every Tuesday. We used to do, like, podcasts and stuff called the Get a Life podcast. I had a show called Nick's Nest Quest, which I was trying to see how many of the original NES games, we're talking Nintendo NES, in 1 year into the store. It was based off this movie I watched called Nintendo Quest. I fucking hated this movie.
I've seen that
movie so much, man. But I'm like, so I don't even know why I decided to do it, because I guess I took something from it. I just thought it'd be interesting, because in that movie they're trying to do it in 30 days. They're trying to get like 600, whatever it is, many. I don't care about the numbers. I'm like, let's do it more realistically in the store. I cannot go out and physically get it like off of a eBay or anything.
That's what I liked about your challenge, was that it was from trades.
All trades, and I'm not letting people know about the show when they're coming in and trading it in, like, oh, I need that DuckTales 2 or that Panic Restaurant. No, it was just, let's just see what comes in. Yeah. And if we get 200 games, if we get all of the games, which that was very unrealistic. I stopped doing the show like around like week 35, 36, just because I went back and I watched the Nintendo Quest movie again. And tried to. I made it like 75% of the way through. And I'm just like, who fucking cares?
Well, I think that once again, it's all about becoming a completionist.
Right.
It's about collecting certain games that are kind of like holy grails,
right.
Especially since they were limited in
it's a cool part of history to have in your game room, in your collection.
For the original Nintendo.
I think I'm out of that right now, as far as like I'm not the hardcore collector anymore like I used to be. Now it's, I run a shop, I see this stuff come, and you can't get emotionally attached to it because I have to resell it. So it's just like I get to enjoy it on a much smaller scale if it's in the store for a day or a month, sometimes a year, and then move on to the next. So I get to be the middleman now. Yeah. Somebody comes in, trades it in, cool, we get to find a new good home for it, hopefully.
Yeah,
but really I mean, dude, if I was back in collector mode, Nintendo Quest would have been like the greatest thing ever for me. I would have been like, oh my gosh, he's trying to get that, Right. The idea of the movie was cool. I just didn't like.
Well, and then once
you the star of it, I didn't like the star of it.
Well, also too, when you found out like that
they had like a GoFundMe thing.
Yeah, behind the scenes. When you found out about the behind the scenes and how they were like pressuring these small businesses that sell vintage video games into like, give me a great deal.
Come on, bro! Like we're doing this for the show. It's just like, if you're doing this authentically, then there shouldn't be any talk of a documentary.
Yeah,
which is really the only way you can do it is with like hidden cameras.
Right, because they're bringing in cameras.
Camera crew. There's a lighting guy.
They also have to get permission to come in and film
shoot,
it,
which they do.
Yeah.
Which they do.
Well, because
and I like shows like this because there's like the Game Chasers. I've been watching those guys since the very beginning. They're a huge part of the reason why I was going out and looking for stuff. Love those guys. But pitch me your idea, man. That's what people are waiting for. Shit.
Well, no, I like to get in some small talk, and especially since you have a YouTube channel, and also, you have like a vintage video game store that it's
do we even do intros in this biatch? People even know who's like talking right now, or do you set it up saying?
Oh, I always set it up.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
they know that we're brothers.
Yeah, you're my brother.
What's up, big brother? From the same mother.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on my show.
Heck yeah, man.
I've been on your show.
You've been on a few episodes now. Yeah, you were on the last one, and you actually got to play like the main bulk of the Dead Tomb episode with John Lester.
Yeah, that was really cool too to see, to play like a original game that is released for an old Nintendo.
For the Nintendo, yeah. It was a fun game. It actually made me go out on the Nintendo eShop and buy another point-and-click game for the Switch, and I'm loving it. It's called Thimbleweed Park. It's a fantastic game. So thank you, John.
Yeah, that guy was really cool, man. It's awesome when a dude is able to like find a job. It's not his it's not his bread and butter. It's not like what he.
Yeah, he has a full-time gig.
Yeah,
he has like a corporate, respectable job, and then he owns his own video game company,
right?
Which she's partnered with into Collector Vision Games. We're talking about John Lester's Gamester 81 on YouTube. He's really big here in Arizona. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and then he also runs a video game convention.
He started the Game On Expo back in 2015. I want to get my dates right. Yes. So yeah, he just did his third one, which is awesome. Yeah. And he gave me a Batman pinball machine. Just gonna throw that out there.
So he's just a cool dude.
He's a nice guy,
and especially when somebody that appreciates like nostalgia, like you and we do.
Yes, too. He knows his video games.
But let's get down to business. Let's get down to brass tacks. So
the dirty.
I want to ask you a few questions first. Have you ever watched like King of Queens? Like
Kevin James.
Yeah. So my wife and we watch that quite a bit now, on a daily basis, and I've always liked those characters, and I feel like that it is kind of realistic in a way. And so
he's also like a UPS fucking driver, which you did for a decade.
So I worked for UPS, but I was never a
You weren't the driver, but you were a driver helper for years.
Yeah, I did that. So I know that grind, and and then also I just like his wife Carrie. I think that it's like an interesting balance between that she's like kind of the aggressor and he's kind of like the lovable idiot, and I think that my wife and we can kind of relate to that a little bit.
Oh shit.
No.
Deep we were just watching to the Harron house.
Well, we were just watching like an episode today, and it starts out with them like going to see a movie, and then like she's like they get back and she's just like, yeah, I'm picking the next 5 movies, and she's like, you're not picking any more movies, and then he's like, well, what do you mean? It was entertaining, and she's just like, a dude gets cut in half by a surfboard, and he's like, well, what do you expect from a title called Slaughter Beach? And it was just like, I always drag my wife to silly movies or artsy movies, and then she like falls asleep or yeah. Man, I've taken her to some movies and she's like zonked out, like Birdman.
Wow,
I really like that movie.
I like Birdman a lot, man.
And she fell asleep. It was hilarious.
Jeez, wifey.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I have this story about like a couple like that, and I thought that like maybe they would be kind of like sort of struggling, like like a middle age, middle age, middle income type of couple, like making it, but they have like this richer couple friends that like that they're more well off, and then they've always like kind of like had some, I don't know, like they like them, but they wish that they were that rich, There's
a little bit of competition there.
Yeah, a little bit of competition. They kind of grew up these guys, and so one of the things, like the Carrie character, the wife, like one thing that was always on her bucket list is that she wanted to see the Northern Lights. Do you know what the Northern Lights are? Like the Aurora Borealis.
Yes.
And so the richer couple, the husband of the richer couple, he's like this big nerd, and I always thought like he could be like Patton Oswalt,
Okay.
And because he's also on the show too, but I thought, like he's always kind of like had the hots for her, but like doesn't say it.
For his buddy's wife?
Yeah. And so he wants to like.
Who do you got kind of casted for the the main husband then?
Well, Kevin James. I would think of Kevin James.
So are we just basically taking the Cappuccino Queens and putting it in this fucking pitch?
Yeah, this like okay. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what these characters are. Since
the humor of the story.
Yeah, and because it is a comedy. Okay. But so I thought like he would like treat the couple to like go
double date vacation.
Yeah, double date to the Northern Lights, all the way out in Norway, in this like very remote hotel. Like it takes it's like a half an hour ride on an airplane just to get out there because there's no roads. It's just out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And so it's this like really extravagant vacation, and they're gonna have like all this fun. And then when they get there, they find out that it was like, well, this is like a private hotel. You know, you have to be a member and everything. And and they're like kind of weirded out that they were even able to get here. Like there's like a certain like password and information that you need to like fill out to even get into this resort.
Because that would suck to fly all the way to Norway.
Right.
And you can't even check into your vacation.
It would be funny if like, you know, like here's the Carrie character who like complains to the point where like, no, we flew all the way out here, you're letting us into this resort. Okay. And so, you know, they're just like, all right, but like what we told you is that this is like a members only thing. We'll bring you food, but we usually have like a big dinner and everything for like all of our guests. It's like you're not allowed to come in and take part because, you know, like this is a members only thing. And then they're like, okay, and they're okay with it at first, but of course this is like
my imagination right now is like this is about to turn dark to some like Illuminati shit with some eyes wide shut, like long dick masks and a lot of fucking like brown cloaks on.
This is
we're gonna be like sacrificing a goat while there's like a sumo wrestler getting fucked in the corner.
It's not that.
This is rated R podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because if not, then I'm gonna go home.
No, it's not that dark, but it's dark. Like I think
I'll
of it as
I'll
a
let
dark
you get
comedy.
there, but I'm glad we're kind of vibing because how you're saying this, it's like I wish you could see his face right now, like my brother, because he's telling me this, and he's getting really excited. Like there's this build up to this like fucking dinner right now. Yeah, and I'm like, there's gonna be some sex.
So. You know, and I want to stress the fact that the Carrie character and Patton Oswalt, they're like kind of like these nerdy characters. They almost seem like they should be together, like because they're just totally nerding out on this whole situation. And Kevin James is like, and then like Patton Oswalt's wife, who's like just this beautiful woman, kind of ditzy.
But yeah, because he's rich. Sorry, nerds of the world.
They're kind of taking a back seat.
Make some money. The pussy will be there.
So Carrie, of course, is like feuding about like how dare they not invite us to this welcoming dinner.
Right.
You know, like, you know, here's your friend who is like put so much money and like into this trip, and then they're not going to serve us like they would their own guests, and so they end up crashing it. But when they open up the door to the dinner hall or whatever, they are greeted by a bunch of different alien races that are all taking part in a dinner, and so at first, they're just like, what is going on? But what ends up happening is that, like, Patton Oswalt tries to make sense of it, and he's just like, oh, this is like, must be some kind of, like, weird sci-fi convention or something like, these are great costumes and everything.
Comic-Con Norway?
Yeah, Comic-Con Norway. And so, at first, they're thinking that like these are people in suits, or maybe it's like this furry kind of convention where like all these people are pretending to be different aliens, but what they come to find out is that these are real aliens, that this is a remote hotel where aliens from other planets can come and like enjoy Earth. It's like a tourist attraction for aliens, and they get to enjoy the Northern Lights,
which you can fucking find on the internet on your cell phone if you just type in Northern Lights vacation.
Well, that's the thing is,
and then you get to see like the set of Men in Black 4.
That's the thing is that so they're at one point they try to figure out like how were we able to figure this out?
Yeah,
like
you're making everybody in the audience think like these people have to die at the end of this film because already. I would think like even like before they go to that dinner,
right?
They should meet like some of the people at the hotel, and they're humans, but they're questionable.
Well, okay, so the ditzy wife, Patton Oswalt's wife, she was the one that set up the vacation. Okay. She was the one to like find this place. So that on the internet or wherever she was able to, there was a certain password or information that needed to be filled out. When they're like trying to figure out like how they were able to like access this, she was just like, well, I left the computer on. I didn't know what was really how to fill it out, so I was going to ask you, and then like I come back and it says like your vacation's been booked, and so I was like, okay, cool, and she's and I'll tell you the reason why it all panned out later on. But like, okay, so now they're in this scenario where there's all these different aliens. Like, this is where I feel like I need some help with you, because it can go really dark, or it can
you gotta remember what are you going for. You said the first thing you said was this is supposed to be a comedy,
right? So
I feel like comedy needs to be the main focus in it, so it should be a funny experience. How I would lighten it up is that maybe they don't just decide to crash it right away, but they're eating, or maybe they decide to drop some mushrooms in Norway, or they go and smoke a little weed, and then they're feeling a little ballsy, or they just have a couple drinks, and then they end up like sneaking into this like extravagant thing, because I think it should be a little bit harder than it's coming off to get into this.
Well, I like that idea
party.
That like at
because
first
then
maybe
like, just think of that everybody's tripping, and then they go in there and they're seeing all these aliens. I'm thinking Fear and Loathing with the freaking dinosaurs in the bar.
I see. That's the thing that I love about like movies like Star Wars, where especially the original trilogy, where it's just practical effects. It's just people in suits.
Oh, I would definitely say do that.
And the thing is that I just I like the idea that there's this private resort for aliens. But okay, so this is where it could branch off in two different directions. Now the story is out. Like the secret is out. Like now do these aliens like have to hunt down these two couples so that they can keep this a secret, so that it never gets leaked out to the public that aliens truly exist, and that they have this resort to come and visit Earth whenever, or maybe they accept them and then they get to have like their vacation with all these aliens. They get to go kayaking.
See,
I think that would be hilarious.
With a twist at the end.
Yeah, and I think so. I just thought that would be really funny. It's just like where, they're willing to keep this secret and just have a good time and enjoy their trip with all these strange aliens. And but I thought it would be really funny if like how they were able to get in was that there was like this cat or a dog that ended up filling out the rest of the information on the website, and that animal assumed that they would bring the animal along with them, and so that's why he was able to like give the rest of the information so that they could book the trip, because he's an alien. Like the little dog or whatever is actually an alien. And so I thought that would be hilarious, that like maybe the dog, they finally come home and then the dog's just like, you know, like, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I thought you were going to bring me along, and like, you know, actually speaks, and they're just like, what? And that's how they were able to get into the trip.
I just want like people who can't, again, they can only hear us. So my eyes are bulging. Because like the coolest thing is that I haven't heard any of your other shows. Nobody has yet. You're kind of stockpiling a couple episodes, which you should do.
Yeah.
This is the ideas that are going on in my brother's head for his story.
This is one actually I thought up recently.
Oh,
too.
Heck yeah. Dude, I have so many.
Yeah.
But no, I like this because this is not what I thought you were going to say when I came over.
Well,
I was going to be like some comic book film or...
Well,
it is kind of
did
science fiction-y in a way, because you are bringing in all these... And especially, like, if you're doing all these different aliens, and this is a comedy, you can have some fucking fun with the makeup and the suits and just make some outrageous stuff.
Yeah, and, like, it would just be, like, crazy scenarios where, like, going on a hike, kayaking, you know, there's just different things that you would be able to do. Like, it would be hilarious, them going in a sauna with like aliens and stuff, and like the aliens are sweating, and like what is coming out of their pores or whatever, or like I don't know, just you can just think of like all these different kinds of scenarios.
Okay.
So I don't know, man.
So what I would do is the whole cat and dog idea.
Yeah.
I think that gets a little confusing.
Well,
I think
but that's
a little bit of a stretch.
But it's one of those like last little things to like wrap that up to where like how were they able to book this flight?
Right. And there's got to be something, because it's got to be really hard to do this. I like the vacation idea. I love the aliens idea. I think that they should go. I think that the aliens, as soon as something like this has happened before, oh no, humans have found their way into this, or guests, because there should even be humans there.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking funny to see like a Donald Trump at that party. That would be really funny.
Yeah.
And, like, you see Tom Cruise hanging out there and like learning shit from the aliens for Scientology.
Yeah.
Like, the sky's the limit, man. Like, they could be doing like an experiment on Justin Bieber's ballsack to make sure his voice doesn't go up higher. And Justin's like, thank you, I can't wait to shoot hoops in the morning.
Yeah.
Like you could go on and on and on. Like,
right.
You could have so many, like, weird cameos.
Well, you know, and then especially, like, you know, certain actors that, like, don't age. Like, maybe they're... Like, we're getting into the range of, like, Men in Black. But I also think that it's different, you know?
Right.
But...
I like this kind of like the Illuminati type of party aspect to this, that it's not just like a vacation for these aliens. I think you should go a little bit more, because that's kind of broad, because like in Norway, you're seeing these lights, that's like probably really cold out and stuff. It's not like they're going to be going out and golfing and stuff.
Right.
But you can still do a lot of activities, like they go to the sauna, they can go and get facials and massages together. They can work out at the gym, go to restaurants together.
Well, there's not too many restaurants. There's just like the one.
But yeah, I would push more of that, like them just partying with the aliens. But the aliens should, at the very beginning, be like, oh no, there's these people here. They're not supposed to be here. We know what we need to do. But then the people there, your King of Queens cast, is so likable.
Right.
That the aliens are like, let's just have a good time with them.
Yeah.
And then we'll fucking kill them. But let's give them a good, like, 4 or 5 day vacation.
Right.
But then halfway through vacation, one of the 4 people finds out what's going to happen at the end. So now they got a plan on offing all the aliens before it happens to them.
Right, or something like that. Because like when I think about like these characters, the king and queen characters, like, you know, I think of like Kevin James, like being like, "Where's all the laser guns?" You know, like they're aliens. Where's the guns? You know, like we need a weapon.
I'm trying to think
something.
of like the trailer, what the song would be. For the trailer.
Probably something with David Bowie or something.
Oh. See, that was cool. I'm still gonna say, man, I love that in Justice League, when it showed on the newspaper at the very beginning of the movie. It said, "Did they just go home?" on the newspaper, and it showed Prince, David Bowie, and Superman.
Yeah.
That was cool, man. That was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Like, I feel like this is kind of a broad idea. It's just an idea. Like I said, this is what we do, is we pitch ideas.
Right.
And I think that you could go anywhere with this. And I like the idea that we'll play around with them. We'll have a good time. And then, maybe, and then we'll kill them. But maybe some of the aliens are just like, maybe we should just let them be. Like, maybe they will keep the secret or something like that. And so maybe there are some aliens that are at the hotel that actually help them escape or something like that, you know?
Well, then you're basically just watching a film with humans vacationing, though, with aliens.
Right.
Which nobody's seen that before, but I feel like if you want to sell those tickets, you got to get butts in those seats. There's got to be something a little bit more Hollywood, which sucks, man, because I don't want to sound like that guy. But, like, if I'm even pitching an idea, I'm really going to try to put, like, everything in there that's going to make this actually sell to either, like, a studio or something like that they think, like, man, this guy's got everything. Like, he's thought of every, like, loose end.
Well, so what are you thinking that...
I think that there needs to be more of... There has to be a struggle.
More of a conflict.
There has to be a conflict, and there has to be a resolve. And it also needs to be something that you don't see coming.
Well,
like they're picking these aliens off one at a time, but then also at the same time trying to hang out with some of them so they're not noticing. Like, oh, what happened to like Blargak?
Yeah,
and he's just like, oh yeah, I think he like twisted his tentacle and he's just chilling.
That's interesting because that they start picking them off one by one.
Because that could be funny how they hunt down these aliens. Because they also got to find out.
And then
how do you hurt them?
You got to remember that this is a very remote area. Maybe there's no way of like getting any contact. Maybe there isn't any like kind of soldiers that can come to these aliens' rescue or something like that. Maybe it's so remote that if they did kill everybody and got a hold of the airplane and then flew out of there, and then nobody would know,
right,
or something like that.
Right.
So maybe make it look like an accident, like the hotel burnt down or something like that. You know, you're. So I don't know, man. Like like I said, it was like a recent idea that I had. I thought it would be like an idea that we can play around with, and we have. And
heck yeah, man.
And so. Well, thanks for listening.
Shorter episode than most?
It's a little short.
Well, I feel like this was like when you have a brand new idea, it hasn't blossomed yet. And sometimes it also gets stale or like it plateaus. Like your idea, like you don't know really where to go with it until you do something like this and you put it out there and you hear feedback.
Well, one thing too is that like the last couple episodes that I've done were, you know, something that. They were stories that I've been working on for years now.
Right, because didn't you say you did Super Guy?
I did Super Guy.
And I've known about Super Guy before anybody.
Right.
Like, Super Guy goes back
when I was like 9-10 years old.
I'm going to say it's been like 28 years, 27 years of Super Guy
in our
family.
I can't wait for you to hear that episode because to see where Super Guy has evolved to.
I have ideas on Super Guy myself.
Well,
and Ninja Sharky.
Well, that's something that I would definitely like to hear from you, but you need to hear that episode because you'd be surprised where it goes from there. And then and then I did the Cthulhu Lake was my first episode with Stuart Johnson, and that was something that I just recently came up with last year.
Stuart Johnson. That sounds like a guy who should like have many books. Just sounds good. Just like
he's a pretty
a door in the field.
Intellectual dude. He's
heck yeah, man.
Yeah, he's going to college right now, become a writer. So.
And then you have me after him. What the fuck?
No, actually, Russ was my last one. Russ Kasmierzak, which he's been developed. Well, he's done this comic book for like years, and he's on like issue like 34 and 5. He's like working on both issues at the same time, and I'm just so amazed that like this dude has made that many comics on this character, this superhero character. So I don't know. It's something to strive for. Like these people are inspire me, but
I'm happy I'm on here, because my movies consist of like stop animation shit that I did with like fucking action figures trying to do celebrity deathmatch.
Yeah, but
and then like skate videos and then just YouTube.
But I'm really proud of you, man. Like I
appreciate it, dude.
Like that's quite the accomplishment that you have a small business that is like a niche, you know. And that is nostalgia. That is video games. That is old video games, and you're making money doing it.
It's paying the bills, man. We're actually making a living off of it, and I it's weird, man, because like people come in and they're like, dude, you have like the coolest job ever, and I do. I'm really happy. I think I'm just always just really tired because there's always something that you need to be thinking about. Mm-hmm. And then I still have like another job. I still teach. And then I'm a dad and I'm doing jujitsu and then I'm doing podcasts and let's plays. So I'm trying to like live like 4 lives. I really want to, man. And I just like doing this shit. I like just talking to my friends. Yeah. And family members, just chilling out. Well, so the store's perfect for me. It does not feel like work. It does not feel like a job. We make money, but I just like it when people come in and they're just good people. Because then you can just hang out. You can just do this. You just shoot the shit. Yeah. And it's not like you have to worry about what you say or what you wear or what games you're buying. I don't care. It's just, are you having fun? Well, that's it. I just want to have fun. And I don't want to grow up. I am a toy. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah. No, so, you know what? You got my 1050.
Kevin James, Patton Oswalt. I can't think of the
Leah Remini.
Yeah,
is that her name?
I think so.
I might have butchered the last name.
And then we could have some hot, actress, maybe like a Margot Robbie.
How about Alexandra Daddario, because she's very intelligent.
But I don't know, man. Her eyes are so freaky.
Her eyes. You look at her eyes.
I don't know. Like every time I see her, she's just like I don't know. She looks like an alien.
Oh my gosh, dude.
She doesn't. She looks.
Thank you, True Detective.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yes. Well, thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate it, man. I know. Now I'm gonna go. I gotta go to work and edit some shit for my show because I have like 5 hours to get a video posted that I have not started working on yet. Oh well. We roll classy at One Up Games, guys. No. For real though, it's been fun, man. I can't wait to pitch my shit.
Yeah, that'll be in the next episode. Is you coming by and?
I've got about 6 of them. I've written stuff down on the computer. All right. I think you're going to be actually pretty.
Well, just pick the one that you feel like the most comfortable with, and.
I think I'm just going to do any, mini, miny, mo in the car right before I get here because whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to say there's one better than the other.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like a story that you have like that's more thought out. Like for instance, this is a bad example because this is something
that you can talk about for at least 45 minutes to an hour.
Right. But also something that has like a better outline than I have. Like cuz I think that with this story it was like I said, I thought of it a couple days ago but I thought that this is a funny comedic sci-fi could be dark story that that we could have fun with.
And this could be a cameo fucking movie, though, man. Like, you could get some actors playing these aliens just to have a good time. Just maybe silly, show up for one day's work.
Yeah.
And you get, like, Tom Hanks just shows up. He's just like, hey, I'll be, like, the guy who checks you in at the hotel. And you see him, and he's, like, gay or something. Like, God, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But not like Tom Hanks, like Philadelphia, but like Tom Hanks just like, hi.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Like, man, that's what I like to see when the actors go really 180 from what they normally do.
All right, man. Well, this is the end of the 5th episode of Here Comes the Pitch.
Hey.
So, but...
What is that? Wait, sorry, I was trying to end it, but what is that in the song? Like 5 golden rings?
5 golden rings.
Fucking golden rings.
You are golden
Sonic
rings.
the Hedgehog, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
well, we'll have you on next time, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
It should be fun.
All right. See ya.